Hi everyone, Neil here from Wildhouse Models, and I'd like to kind of introduce you to the MEC S70-B Stasis Pod if you haven't already seen it. Encourage you to go to wildhousemodels.com and have a look at detail of our video and some other information about the actual kit. But it's a stasis pod, it's our own creation based on the Hostile Rounds universe, which is again our own ideas. We wanted to come up with a kind of product really that you guys can kind of create and model and really fit into any genre, but we were kind of really keen to create something that would be exciting, would be different, would be not armour, not spaceships, not characters and figures. So this is the first in our range. We have a couple of other kits coming out soon. We have a 70mm figure being produced, which is on the box here. Which will be ready in probably about a week or so. We're going first production of those. So what I actually wanted to do today was just go through some of the detail of building the kit. There are some various unboxing reviews out there at the moment, and we're very proud to have some very positive reviews of the kit so far. But really, how do you build it? What is our vision for creating this kit, and give you some guide really of using resin if you've never worked with resin before. We have a PDF on our website which is a bit detailed, explains what materials you need and precautions you need to take and what glues you need. Without further ado though, I'm going to go into detail about actual resin itself and some of the complications of using resin versus plastic kits. Okay, so first up we have all our parts out here. We have the two side panels for the left and right sides. As you can see, they have little pieces here where the moulding has some production pieces which are on the inside, which we don't have to worry about. But very, very fine detail on this. We've used a high quality resin for this material, so we wanted to actually make sure that the kit itself is in a minimal amount of work. So there's a couple of little pieces here that we'll need to take off. These are, when they pour the resin, they're just air holes to allow the resin to actually filter through. So there's those. I have also cleaned up this base already. There was a couple of pieces on the base here. There's some detail on the base where it's actually been held into the mould. But as you can see, the level of detail on here, we've got some very good detail on the on the front here, and the resin shouldn't really take too much to clean up. You should wash the parts completely, preferably over 24 hours. Leave them in soapy water. You can use other materials. There are various kind of pros and cons with cleaning resin, but the Acura 25 material that we've used can be just cleaned with soap and water, which is a great boon. Clean them thoroughly. They should be primed, ready for before painting. It's recommended that after you've glued it together, you should clean the parts again. As you can see here, I've been cleaning up some of the pipes here. These are in detail. We've got some air vents that will fit onto this piece here. The pipe work is going to go around here and into the back here, so this fits in here. I've cleaned some of these up already. These are the pieces I've cleaned up, but as you can see, there are some flash lines on here that we need to clear up on here. There's a key pieces where it's been held into the mould, but very, very few. Some of the pieces actually can come off with your hands. Not sure if you can see that, but you can kind of take that off with your fingers. But it is advised. I've got a range of kind of various things, high grade wet and dry, some various kind of tools that you should really use, and the odd scalpel and things, as well as some clippers that we can kind of take some of the larger pieces off with. I'm going to see if I can find a large piece here. I've cleaned most of it up actually already. So what else we have? We have the door. So there is a leverage door that opens up on the outside. There is a clear panel that is actually over here. So we have a nice clear resin, slightly frosted in detail, but that material will drop in there once I've cut that out, so you can see the detail there. should use canopy glue for this. That's one thing that I recommend rather than using other materials. So the other clear pieces we have a light ring. This will fit inside the stasis pod up here. I have the lighting set. This is a specialist custom kit that we've built. One of the things that we wanted to do was provide a way of actually lighting the kit. So this is all pre-made, so all you have to do is just plug and play. It's powered from a standard USB port. Don't plug it from your computer. It's recommended that you actually use a mobile phone or cell phone charger for this. But what we have is we have an electronic switch which goes on the outside, and there's an electronic key card that you can use as a magnetic key card where you can activate all the features. And again, that just plugs in here to the magnetic sensor. Hopefully you can see that there. Two lights plug in there. The top circular ring, this is in detail here, but there are 6 LEDs. These are 2 color LEDs, red and blue, and in different modes on the stasis pod they light in different ways. Then there's a couple of LEDs. These are very, very small SMDs, again single color white, and they will go on the back of these, which will fit in the base and in the top of the actual stasis pod. So these are like light panels that will light up, so hopefully you can see that there. There are some details that you'll need to worry about when this is joined together. There are some seam lines you'll need to putty up, but we've tried to make sure that the actual kit, once it's fully assembled, has a minimal amount of work that you need to do. So there we are. There are some other components. What we have included is we have included some plastic and rubber tubing. There are different colours of these, but one thing that we like to do here, if I can just show you, is these down pipes have a tiny hole in the base. The 2mm rubber tube will fit into that. That is then assembled into here, into the base of these down pipes. So I'll have to just clean those up, and they then will go into these holes over here. So we've tried to make it as comprehensive as possible to build. It should be assembled as per the instructions, but you are free to deviate if you really, really want to. So one thing that I'm doing at the moment is obviously just cleaning up. It is a lot of detail that I need to worry about cleaning up. Some of these obviously here are, I just need to take off these components. Whoops. There we are. So very simple, very easy to do. There shouldn't be too many issues with some of these clear parts. We've tried to make these as best as possible. This obviously is going to go inside. It's the diffuser ring for the LED, as I mentioned. What we do have is we have a special light blocker that will fit underneath this, and then the LEDs will then fit underneath there, and that all assembled fits inside this here where the light is shown. So it gives you an indication of how detailed we've tried to make the kit. We've tried to kind of think about how the lighting system would work together with the actual build itself. So one thing that I really wanted to kind of go through today was the level of kind of, cleanup that you need to do on resin. Resin is obviously a different material than standard plastic kits. What we need to do is obviously just clear up the lines here. They do come up very easily. It is a very soft material. It's not very hard, so you should be able to clean this up pretty well. And then what we're doing is just giving it a rub with the wet and dry. Hopefully you can see that line has pretty much come off now. I'm sure you can see that, but there we are. There's still some detail here that I need to take off, but it took me a couple of seconds to do that. So it's just a matter of time really to just clean the parts necessarily for the build. Okay. So what I've done is I have cleaned up all these parts, spent a bit of time obviously on some of the more complicated pieces. These are the door arms, and they needed a bit of, there was a lot of little flash inside, so that just needed cleaning up. But all done now. So about 20 minutes it took me to get all the parts. I've just got a couple of bits here that I'm just finishing off now, so kind of just show you how easy it is again to tidy up these pieces. So there's a little bit of flashing on the inside there. You can take that off. Now, resin does sometimes come out of the mould slightly warped. What you can do is you can just simply place it in some hot water, lay it down. You can see this piece has definitely warped. There are the pegs here to actually connect together, but I know it has slightly warped from the actual thing. So you can actually immerse that in hot water and the resin will settle slightly. So a little tip there, but if you do have any issues, then you can sort that out. There is a slight defect here I'm noticing on this casting. That should actually be an interior hole for one of the pipes that comes around here. So that just needs to be sorted. I'm going to show you how quickly this is just to clear up now. So I'm just snipping these tiny bits off. Make sure you do the right side. Obviously, as I mentioned, there is a peg and a hole. Don't cut the pegs off. Good advice. So anyway, I'm just cleaning up these tiny elements here, because obviously we need to have the parts joined together as seamlessly as possible before we put putty around the side. They aren't going to be perfect, as I mentioned, so just going over those. Tiny bit of sanding, and as you can see, pretty much okay. If you want to give it a bit of more detail, you can go with it through the wet and dry. Use a bit of wet and dry. And that will make it really smooth. So there's a tiny bit around the outside here I need to worry about, but actually very, very minimal amount of detail that I have to worry about. As I say, you don't have to clear up the inside too much, because that is certainly something where you won't see. So these holes here are for the control panels of the stasis pod. They're the bit inside the cryo tube itself. So they're the ones that would, you know, if this was a real device, they would be inside here. They're these curved, slightly curved pieces, and they fit in here when the two pieces are together. So I'm not sure if you can see that. One thing you do need to do is you just need to make sure that these holes are wide enough. So use a round file if you have one. A couple of turns just to make sure you can fit it together. Do the same on the other side once you've finished. So once you've cleared up your resin, one of the most important things to do afterwards is give it another clean. As I mentioned, you've got various oils and stuff in the skin. It's advisable to wash all those parts out. So give it another wash in soap and water. As I say, other people use different techniques. I tend to use soap and water. It's just as good. So once we've cleared up all of these parts, or if I can zoom in on here and show you a bit of detail. There we are. One thing about resin as well is that you need to be a little careful about inhaling resin. It can be slightly dangerous. People are worried about it. We've tended to use a very good quality resin, so there is a minimal risk, but there's still a risk. So it's advisable to use a face mask if you have it, if you're really worried that you're working in an enclosed space. I think that's just about it. Wipe that down. And there we are. As I say, when we clear that up later. There's a couple of little bits that I want to finish off here. This is where the light will go. And there's one at the bottom. Now, as I say, if you bought the additional lighting kit, what we've done is we've included a light area. Hopefully we can see that. Yep, there we are. So down here is a light area where we can see. And that would enable you to feed up the tight wire. It's a little bit tight in there. You have to make sure you've glued it in correctly. The one at the top is more accurate, and you would have the wire goes down the back here. It's advised, obviously, to on your part seal it up on the inside if you worried about a little light bleeding through any of the surface. So make sure that you seal it on the inside as well. So there we are. That's the left-hand panel. So there, everyone. It shows you exactly how to clear up the parts of the kit, clear off the little bits of flash, and generally just prepare the parts ready for assembly. So if you want to get hold of the kit, it is available on our website, www.wildhousemodels.com, and it's if you go to the top bar, there's a button called Store, shop there. We have a 10% promotion running right now, so if you use a promotional code WHM-launch 10 in the store, you'll get 10% off all items. That includes a limited edition poster, it includes the lighting kit, it includes this. We do a bundle pack as well with this, the lighting kit and the figure. Well worth it, obviously, if you can afford that. We ship internationally, we take credit card and PayPal for that. So if you want to get hold of these, we also sell these on Amazon UK. Not sure if you can get them through the Amazon.com, so it's worth checking if you are in the US. But hopefully in the next session I will show you how to start assembling the kit. Anyway, have a good day, and that's it from Wild House Models. Thank you.